Hey, folks online, welcome, wow, folks in the room, welcome back to my room. So we're gonna start sitting on the floor. So, there's a difference between pointing your feet and pointing your toes. And I don't know if you can see my toes just then, but your toes can kind of hang out and chill. We don't want them to hang out and chill. We want them to be very deliberate. We want those big toes to try and touch the floor. And as you're sitting here, pointing your toes, yeah. Shoulders, I pointed at them, I knew they were, that was good. Keep your chest lifted, your shoulders back and down. And I'm actually squeezing my inner thighs right now. I know Pam loves to squeeze her inner thighs. It's her favorite thing to do ever in the whole wide world. And sometimes if you point your toes tight enough, your feet might cramp, which is awesome. Mine's not doing it.
Yeah,
Right.
this close.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
it.
Now I want you to pull them back, like your big toes are trying to touch your shins. Really flex them. And you're still thinking about my shoulders are backing down, right? We're not touching up. Very nice. And point. My quads are like, hi. And flex.
Did you miss step class?
Because I missed step class. And point. Really get those toes down to the floor and flex. Now we're going to open to first position. We normally do first position standing up, but it's heels together and toes apart. So I'm still flexing and I'm still pulling on the bottoms of my feet. And I still have great posture, right? Now let's point them. Very nice. Good pointed toes. And can you flex back to first?
Michael's like,
And point them. Well, that's why I like to do these, because there's not a lot of times that you do a lot of stuff for your ankles. I mean, you walk on them, right? And you do things where you're using them, but it's very rare to focus on stretching your ankles. Point them. Roll them back together. Now let's flex one and point the other. Oh, that's also a brain tease. And switch. And switch. This also gets your calf muscles. It also gets your quads. So even though you just think you're moving your toes,
I feel it right.
yeah.
So think about your abs working harder than your hip flexors.
I mean, I feel a little there too.
I actually feel mine more here because I'm doing my Kegel.
I try not to talk about Kegel in this class. I know it's there. I know you should be flexing.
Yeah, it's like the drawstring.
But I like to leave my Kegel out of it. Alright. Now, Pam's favorite part. And thanks for that picture. Because that, I don't know if you saw her post. So we've been doing V-sit, but we do it in a modified way so that, yes, you're welcome. We've been doing it in a modified way to make it not so hard, because it's pretty freaking hard, all by itself. I often do them with hands and back, but we've been doing them elbows in back. So let's start there.
Which will probably be your option. She's had surgery just that way.
Okay.
Wrist.
Wrist. Oh, well, this is better for you then. Don't worry, the hard one is better for you too. So we're going to drag our toes. We're going to, as we bend our knees, we're going to drag those toes right on the floor, and then they're going to come up. So my heels are not on the floor. Can you lift them up off the floor? There you go. Now we're going to straighten them, and there's your V. And Pam loves this.
Oh yeah.
Can you feel your abs? If you can't feel your abs, I don't know what to tell you. just touch those toes to the floor and lift. Oh, I need to get a little bit of shape going on. And toes. And up. And toes. How about we try right, left, right, left, right. It's a little more quad, but you still get those abs going on, right? Oh, and come down. All right. Sit up. Now, the harder version of V-sit. So like I said, it's a little harder to do it this way, but you're not going to do that because of your wrist, right? So this brings up the level a little bit more, right? But a true V-sit, and I don't even know, so a true V-sit starts here. And what happens is, as your arms come up, your legs come up. And it's been a while, but this is V-sit without all of this stuff. Now, I'm not saying that this is the thing that we're going to be able to do real well, but let's try it once, see how it goes, and we'll progress up to it. But as she posted that picture, I was like, oh, we have to at least do one.
Had I seen it, I may not
See, they just know it's your class time, so they're not gonna look at it.
They're like, she might not make me sweat. Yeah, I think I'm good. Okay, so I knew you were excited. We're just gonna do one, just, to see how it goes. And I won't even have you put your arms over your head. Although it is, so, if you did these, a bunch of them, you would kind of swing your arms to give yourselves a little momentum to get up. I don't mind if you try and do that because it does help. But you want to bring them front and then lift. And there's like a balance point on your butt, kind of at the base of your spine. Ooh, see, you did it to Lord!
It's also called full boat in yoga.
Huh?
This is half, this is full.
Oh, half. We're not doing half of anything. All right, let's stand up. Maybe the hardest move you'll do today. No, I'm kidding. All right. So we got lower body all the way to abs. All right. First position is heels together and toes apart. It kind of.
to be barefoot.
No, you can have socks. You can have bare feet. Whatever you would like.
Damn, I don't know what rest
We didn't even work arms yet.
I know. Okay. But let's do this first, then we'll get there. So first position is heels together and toes apart. It's like the letter V. We're gonna keep that shoulders back and down, chest lifted, and our arms are in preparatory position. How do you like that? It's a big word. Just because we're hanging out, right? So I have a little bit of a circle going on, right? My elbows are out a little bit, right? So we're just gonna leave them there. And we're gonna keep in the back of our mind to keep our chest lifted, our shoulders back and down, and arms in preparatory position. Now, we're gonna point that toe to the side, and we're gonna drop our heel, that second position. It should be about shoulders width apart. A little more is okay, a little less is okay, but somewhere right around shoulders. And we're still in preparatory position, and our shoulders are still back and down. And they should line up, right? So this is not a good second position, right? So heels and toes should line up, looking down at my feet. Now lift that heel. So you're pointing your toe. Now you're going to drag that heel into the middle of your standing foot and make a letter T. That is third position. And our shoulders are still back and down, our chest is still lifted, and our arms in preparatory position. Now we're going to point that toe front. And I want you to think about keeping it in line with your hip. And then drop that heel. You're going to turn that foot out a little bit. Now you have sort of a V without the point, over here, right? My toe and my heel want to line up this way and this way, right? So that's how you know your hips are in alignment. And then we're going to lift our heel, point that toe, heel and toe touch, that's 5th position. Very good. Then we're going to point out to 2nd and come back to 1st. All right, how's preparatory position doing? How's your shoulders? How's your chest? Is it lifted? I know you forget, it happens. Now we're going to do the other side. Point that toe, drop your heel, 2nd position, lift your heel. Now we're going to bring that right into letter T, 3rd position, right? Squeeze those inner thighs, right? None of this. Point your toe front, that's tendu, to point. Drop your heel. Now you want to make sure that that heel and that toe, sometimes when we point, we don't think about it, right? And sometimes it may go out a little bit, but then when I put my heel down, I'm way off, right? And my hips are technically pointing this way, right? So make sure it's right in front. Then you're going to lift that heel into 5th, heel and toe touch, out to 2nd, into 1st. There you go. Pam's squeezing her inner thigh. I don't know how I can tell that, but it's nice. It's nice.
Loosen it.
So everything we're doing is with intention, right? We're not just flopping our foot out, right? Everything is very controlled, right? And we still have our great posture with our shoulders back and down. One more thing about preparatory position and the other positions, which we're going to do in a second. You can keep those thumbs with their friends. Some of us really have to think about that. All right, point that toe. Drop your heel, 2nd. Lift, letter T, 3rd position. Point front, drop your heel, 4th. Lift your heel, heel and toe touch, 5th position, out to 2nd, into 1st. And so this is not giving you a super workout, right? You've got all this working, right? And you certainly are using muscles when you point that toe, right? Drop your heel. But these positions come up everywhere. And sometimes lift your heel, letter T into 3rd, squeeze those inner thighs, right? Point your toe, drop your heel. That one's a little trickier on the other side for some reason. Lift your heel into 5th, out to 2nd, back to 1st. It's funny, especially arm stuff. So now we're going to do arms. These come up a lot in fitness classes. Like, not ones like this, even, right? They're kind of universal. So 1st position arms, right? Your hands want to be looking at each other. You've got that big circle going on. You do not want it higher than your shoulders. So it should be shoulder height or maybe a little lower. I tend to go a little lower just because it makes a nice line. Now keep those elbows lifted, bring them out to 2nd position. Thumbs are still down. Woo! We're doing well. Now we're going to take that right arm. We're going to bring it up to 3rd. Okay, so this is 3rd. When we have our hands above our head like this, it's like there's a line right through us. And we don't want to cross that midline. So that's how you know you're in a good position. You're not cross that midline, right? It's right there above your head. And when we get to 5th, I'm going to give you another little trick. So we're going to take this outside hand. We're going to bring it front. That's 4th position. Don't squeeze it in, right? Make sure it's nice and round still. And then up to 5th. Now when you're in 5th position, we're going to talk about these upper hands for just a second. You want to be able to see your hands without moving your head, just your eyes, right? Sometimes we go here, and that's not a good position, right? It pulls on your shoulders. There's kind of weird things going on. You also don't want it way up front here. So just at that point where you can see it without moving your head, but moving your eyes, then you're in the right position. So let's open them, turn them over, and bring it back down. Preparatory position. So 1st, 2nd. Now we're going to take this left hand and go up to 3rd. Don't cross that midline. Bring that other hand front to 4th. up to fifth, open, over, down. Very good. Shake them up for 1 second. Are you feeling stuff a little bit here? It's not as intense, but it's like it's like cayenne pepper. It's a slow burn.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
It kills.
Cheryl.
I'm a crazy person. It's a true thing. All right, one more time. All together, we would call this port de bras.
What?
Port de bras are the arm movements.
Uh-huh.
When you do them all,
Got it.
just throw in your crazy French words,
I
just in
like
case
that.
you were wondering. They were in my head, so I spit them out. All right, preparatory position. We're just gonna run through them one more time real quick. So first, make sure you have that nice round, open to second. Take that right hand up to third. Left hand comes in front for fourth. Up to fifth, which is crown. Open, over, down. Bring them up. Open to second. Now we're gonna take that left arm, it's gonna come up to third. Other hand to fourth. Fifth, which is crown. Open, over, down. Very good. See, easy stuff. It's good. Let's go to second. Why not? We've been standing in first all this time. I want to try our arm movements. Now that we have a new friend, I want to make sure we give her all the good stuff. Right?
Friends, one-on-one.
Oh, yes. You're
Actually,
over there. I pointed at the monitor, but you're there.
Yeah.
All right, arms in second position. So this one you're going to think a whole lot about, is my hand facing this way? Is it facing this way? Is it down? Is it up, right? So we're going to start, we're going to take this left hand and we're going to make it so our palm faces the back, right? Then we're going to bring it over across to our sort of waiting hand. Now our palm's going to face the floor and we're going to bring it up and over. And when it lands palm up, then you're going to turn it over. Bring it across. Then that palm faces the floor. And then turn it over. And this is very intention. That's not a good word.
On
It's
purpose.
done with intention. That's a better way to say that, right? So my arms are tight while I'm doing this. I'm really like pushing the air, even though I'm going slow, and then up and over. Right?
Pushing for mud.
Pushing mud, yes.
Pushing mud.
Except there's no mud. There's plenty of mud in my house.
I'm sure.
And open. Two more. Over. And open. Over. Last one. And open. Except now we're going to do the other arm because we would hate for it to feel left out. So remember, we're going to flip so that palm faces the back. It comes across. Now it's going to face the floor, up and over. Flip, come across, up and over. Across, up and over. And hopefully you're feeling your shoulders
And your inner thighs are tight.
and your inner thighs are tight because Pam would be so upset if you didn't have your
I was
inner
thinking the
thighs.
same just then, sorry. Pam's like, keep your thoughts to yourself.
Your tricep is like, I hear your words. Two more. Over, up and over, over, up and over. All right, shake it out. There you go. I would be remiss to go any further without your.
I know words.
I don't know what it is. They just kind of fly out sometimes. I was really brain dead at the end of the day yesterday, so I didn't even have sentences. So I think my brain is reactivating today, so that's good. So first position, heels together and toes apart. Now we're going to bring those arms up to fifth position. And you're going to learn this word, releve, means to rise. And it's Pam's favorite. She loves it. It's the best. So what we're going to do is rise onto our toes and down. Toes and down. And I'm actually pushing the arches of my feet to the front when I do it. Up and down. up and down, up and down, and last one, up and down. Now, normally when we do this, we have a little rhythm that we do, because I want to get your fast twitch muscles, which you may have heard from somebody else in this room. You want to give them a little wake-up call. So we're going to do 2 slow ones and 4 quick ones. So we're going to do releve and down, releve and down. Now 4 quick. 4, 3, 2, 1. And releve and down, releve and down. And then 4, 3, 2, 1. One more set. Releve and down, releve and down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't drop your arms. Point your toe. Drop your heel. Second position. We're keeping those 5th position arms because we're going up. And believe it or not, that helps you. And the arms are helping you stay stable. This is more inner thigh for someone who loves inner thigh work, who shall not be me. This is a little trickier. So you need to make sure you still have that good posture. Even though your arms are up, your shoulders are not in your ears, right? Our shoulders are down. I know, they're talking, right? This is all lower body. What's going on? All right, are you ready? We're going to do our releves again. From second position, releve and down, releve and down. 4, 3, 2, 1, and releve and down, releve and down. 4, 3, 2, 1 more set, and releve, down, releve, down. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, now you can drop your arms.
How you doing, Natalie?
Oh, do you need a little beverage? Is it beverage time?
Evidently.
Looks like beverage time. Actually, I'm a little talking my head off.
Hey, you don't realize how dry you get until you start talking, and then you're like,
And then you're like, oh crap, I have glue in here. Where did the glue come from? All right. Now I don't want you to feel off the hook yet with the releves, because I like to do them in 5th position, because then I can really squeeze my inner thighs. And it also, it takes your balance from side to side, which is normal for us, and puts it front to back. And you use front to back when you're walking, but not usually when you're staying still. So sometimes you really have to think about balance. So shoulders back and down, chest is lifted, arms in 5th position. We're going to do the same routine, 2 slow, 4 fast. So it's releve and down, releve and down. 4, 3, 2, 1, and releve and down, releve and down. 4, 3, 2, 1 more set, and releve and down, releve. Are you squeezing your inner thighs? 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to point that toe front. We're going to rond de jambe back and sneak it back. Now we've got that left foot in the front, 5th position, heel and toe.
I feel.
Do you feel it? It's like wide, left foot wide.
Weird.
Yes. This not only helps your core, but it helps your balance, right? Because you have to have great balance. So that's why I've got all this tight, because this is all helping. These arms are helping, right? Here we go. And releve and down. Even I wobble a little bit sometimes. And 4, 3, 2, 1. And releve and down. Releve and down. 4, 3, 2, 1 more set. And releve and down. Releve and down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo. All right, check it out. I didn't want her to go home and go, you know what? I really didn't work my calf muscles all that much today.
So she did her first step class yesterday.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
trust
So
me.
I've got some sore spots. Definitely right here.
Yeah, I can
It
understand.
says get a lot of action right
My hip flexed. Oh, look at this, what's going on. I bought this shirt at the Harley Place last weekend. I was looking for a tank top because I thought, oh, this would be a good workout shirt.
Yeah,
And I said large, yep, that's my size. Grabbed it off the rack. This thing is like,
the tent. Yeah, I don't know why they do that.
I'm like, did I really need a medium? It's been a while since I've been in a medium. Just saying.
Tie it up in the back.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something because I thought it would stay, but I noticed it keeps.
Yeah, they drift and then they go sideways.
And nobody wants that. It's in the fitness class.
And the way more of the women are there?
Oh.
Woo!
Maybe. Do you like that? Maybe. Get her off track, you know.
Yeah.
Give her calves break.
It's fine. It's fine. All right, so let's do some sort of shoulder roll stuff. So arms out. I'm in second position. Just to give myself a little balance. I want you to turn your hands so both palms face the back. Now we're going to come front, and then we're going to flip them over and open, and front and open. And if you really push those arms, and then you flip them and pull on the open, it actually is really great for you. All your upper body. See, I'm doing upper body, so it's not all lower body. And if you want to get a little more excited about it, you can actually bend and come up, and bend and come up, bend, up, and bend, and come up. How about that? Arms,
Who felt that?
shoulders.
I felt that.
Oh my goodness. See, but it's a slow burn, right? You're not like, oh my god, time.
That's my class.
That was her class, yeah. She makes it so you're walking out the door like, what just happened to me? I don't even know. This class you'd be like, no, I feel good. And then tomorrow morning you'd be like, I can't move my calf muscles. Oh my god, I can't
I just feel my calf.
She's like, oh no, that's right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's try. So we have tendu, which means to point. When I point my leg, so let's first start in first position, right? So my feet are turned out a little bit with that letter V. When I point my toe, I want that back foot to stay turned. And then this front leg, I'm actually, it's not good when you look down. I'm just throwing it out there, right? If you keep up nice and tall, you won't fall over. I'm just barely touching my pinky toe on the floor, and I've got this inner part of my thigh kind of up to the ceiling as much as I can without doing a crazy thing, right? And then let's lift and down. It doesn't have to be high. Lift and down. Now do 4 quick. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift and down. Lift. Let's arm second. 4, 3, 2, 1. One more. Lift and down. Lift and down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Come to first. Oh my goodness. Almost grabbed my foot. That was the first. Point that other toe. Right? Nice tight leg. It's tight. It's like you could pick it up and use it as a club. Right? Lift. That's what everybody wants to think of. My leg being like a club.
Hopefully.
4, 3, 2, 1, and lift. I would rather you keep your knees straight and just come up a little. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then lift it so high that your leg's like, right? Lift and down. 4, 3, 2, 1 more set, and lift and down, lift and down. 4, 3, 2, 1 into first.
If your butt is not talking a little bit, you're not doing enough.
Well, so not only can we do it tendu with the straight leg, which elevate bend first. It will come to me at some point. It's stuffed way in the back. You can also do it in attitude. So exciting, right? You're like, attitude, what's that? It's kind of similar.
It's Cheryl. Funny.
But now I'm gonna let you bend your knee, right? It's great, you can bend your knee now, right? So attitude is still, right, if your foot is still pointed, your toes are still pointed, right? Like in tendu, but you have that little bend. And it's like you could almost, except we're not gonna bring it up that way, right? But we're gonna lift it in that little bit of a bend. It actually gets your,
IT band.
thank you, IT band more in attitude. Oh my goodness. And if you notice, if you're not standing up straight, arm second, I'm not gonna make you do a bunch of silliness with this because you really need to find your balance point. And if you notice, my leg is still very tight, right? If it wasn't, I'd be all over the place. One more, that's it. Whew. Other leg. So start with tendu, then bend to attitude. So I still want that pinky toe kind of close to the floor. I still want this part of my leg trying to reach the ceiling, right? Lift and down, lift and down.
So your right leg should be squeezing hard.
Yes. Lift and down. And it comes up in front. It doesn't go over here. Woo! I don't even know how you do that without falling over.
I know.
You cross that middle line, it's all over. All right, bring it down. Oh. Yay.
She hasn't even made this jump yet.
I know, I was just thinking about that.
I was just making sure she did.
Man.
I was thinking, do we just stretch a whole bunch? Or do we do saute? I don't know. Saute is such a fun word. It's a cooking word. It's a moving word. All right, let's do a little saute. So we did our relevés, right, in first position, correct? Right? So we know to rise. When you do saute, which means to jump, you want that same action going on. The ultimate goal is to point your toes to the floor when you jump. But there's two things you need to do. For one, you need to demi-plie, which means a little bend. Actually, technically means half bend, right? So this is demi-plie, and this is the cushion before and after you jump, so that you don't like stun your knees and your ankles and they go, what the heck are you doing to me? Right? So we're gonna bend, then we're gonna think about releve, right? And then bend, and releve, and bend, and releve, right? This is our prep. We're prepping to jump, right? Because I want you to think about, even if your jump is very short and not high off the ground, I want you to think at least about pointing your toes to the floor. Because ultimately, so let's bring our arms up to fifth position because we're going to jump. And technically, we would start in second and do fifth. But I don't want to, I don't know.
That's a whole bunch of
That's a whole bunch of movement. And I don't want you to think about your arms really. Because I want you to think about trying to point those toes to the floor. So we demi-plie, saute. Just a little jump. Demi-plie, saute. Right? Now you might not be able to get them to point all the way to the floor, right? But what I don't want to see is this.
They're gonna leave the floor then.
Yeah.
I don't care if they don't leave the floor. As long as you know that that's your goal, right? And you get as far as you can, I'm cool with that, right? But what I really don't want to see is this business. It hurts my person. You can at least get as far as releve and do a little pop, right? Okay, arms up. We're just gonna do a couple more because I want to stretch. I love to stretch. All right, are you ready? Demi-plie, saute. Demi-plie, so there's one before and one after. And that's that little cushion. Oh, yes, saute. Demi-plie, saute. Demi-plie, saute. All right, one more for Pam. Demi-plie, saute. Okay, we're
And
done.
you did come off the ground. I seen that.
Did I?
It's good.
You got hair.
It's good. It's good. All right, grab your mat. We're gonna sit on it again. We're gonna stretch. All right. So, let's start. We'll put one foot out straight and I'm pointing my toe. And then this one, just bring it in. Shoulders are gonna face the front, arms up tall. Again, no shoulders in our ears, right? Our shoulders are still back and down. Now we're gonna keep facing the front and lean over to that leg. Oh my goodness. High inner thighs, wired today.
Second, all hip.
If you want, you can put that bottom hand on your leg. Just make sure what I don't want you to do is this right now. I want you to keep that arm up so that you're getting a stretch all through here. And then come up. Now I'm gonna let you do that. We're gonna take our shoulders, we're gonna turn them to our leg, arms up nice and tall. We're gonna stop when our arms get parallel to our leg. So you're reaching. You can either reach, or if you want to have ballet hands, either way. And then if you want to drop your hands to your leg, you need a little more stretch, round over if you'd like. And then come up. Now we're going to flex it. This is going to change the stretch for you. So shoulders front, arms up, back nice and lifted, and over. And you can drop that lower hand if you'd like. And then come up. Now we're going to turn our shoulders to our leg. Right. Reach front, same parallel, stop there. That's where the nervy stretch comes in. And if you can grab your ankle or your foot or your leg, sometimes I can only go as far as just below my knee.
That was last week.
Yeah. And come up. And now last one, we're gonna come front, arms up, and we're gonna go forward. And only go as far. I don't want you to pull things. Right? Put your hands down on the floor if you need a little something. I usually like to stretch for just a second where I am, where I put my hands down, and then try to go just a little bit more, make it a little deeper. Very good. Come on up. Now let's switch. Other leg. See, this is where my ankle needs to.
That's what I was getting at from both.
My ankle is like, oh, the floor hurts me.
That's what I was trying to say.
I don't know if it's an old age thing, because I don't remember my ankle hurting nearly as bad.
No, I've done this a zillion times. And it wasn't until just now that my ankle went, what are you doing, chick?
Yeah.
All right, shoulders front, arms up. Stretch over. So keep that, there you go. And this one can drop.
I use my bottom arm to actually block so I can pull my
So you
shoulder
can
back.
make it, that's good, to make sure your shoulder stays in position.
Because it likes to fold forward on its own.
And all this stretching actually helps with core strength too, believe it or not. Shoulders face your leg, arms up, to stretch to parallel. First, oh, this leg is like, this is what I needed.
It's her hair.
Yes, right back.
And then drop your hands, and if you can stretch a little more, round over. Get a little more goodness out of that one. Good, come on up. Now we're gonna flex. And again, I'm not just making my foot stand up, I'm actually pulling my toes like they're trying to touch my ankles, or just above my ankles. Right? Arms up, shoulders front, come on over. Keep that arm up above. If you want to drop and use your arm to block, or just, I pull on mine actually. So I'm like, please stretch more.
Yep.
Look at her, she's like, oh, I can touch my foot. I can't grab it like you can. Well, Then we're gonna shoulders to our legs, arms up nice and tall, come parallel. Ooh. Grab that leg, round over. And then come up. Is that foot still flexed? Arms up and come forward. Ooh.
Yeah, but it's it.
I made that noise. I might need to give him that progressive commercial myself.
Right? Don't be your parents.
Don't be your parents. Me and Ann would think they get that. About in their house.
Come on.
It's always on your commercial.
That's awesome. Palms with your feet together. They can be here. You can pull them in. I sit like this for work, so I'm stupidly flexible in this way. So I pull mine way in to get a stretch out of it. I don't really want you to pull on your feet, but I do want you to reach forward with the top of your head. Right? So I still sort of have a flat back going on here. If you can't get this far and you need to just sit up, you can do that too.
So if your shoulder blades are parting ways like this, right? Versus this,
Yes.
then this is not a flat back.
No, that is not a flat back.
Flat back is everything's in alignment.
Yeah.
And then lean.
Sometimes it's easier to start with a flat back up here,
Girls
and
up.
then you can feel it as you start to. What I don't, and to her point, I don't want you to do this, right? I'm thinking about inner thighs and that sort of connection point between your leg and your body.
So you see where my hands are because this is it.
Yes. I am stupidly flexible in this position,
She
so
really is.
don't mind me.
Flexible that is.
Well, and the thing is though, is I am not flexible like this. I don't know,
It's different muscles.
it's just not there, it's just not a thing I can do. But I feel good about myself when I do this, so I do this for a minute.
Because then she looks over at me and goes,
This makes me feel better, because usually she's like, Alright, put them out there. How about we start with pointed toes? And again, we're trying to push those big toes into the floor. And still, I want your chest up, arms up, and just do your best. And reach forward. So my back is still, even though what I want is for you to sort of bend in half, right? And if you get to the point where you have to round over, stop. You've gone too far.
and it's always best in this one to keep a flat back, to pull your chin forward and not drop it to your chest.
Yes.
Because first of all, it's really hard to breathe, but
Yes. And it makes you want to round your back when you drop your chin. Ooh. Can you reach your toes? I don't know about you, I can't reach mine. She can, she's a jerk. And then come up, and then let's flex. Okay, you're gonna really want this one. Again, chest nice and lifted, shoulders back and down, arms up, and try to hinge at your hip. And if you can't go forward without rounding over anymore, stop. Because I want you to keep that straight back. I'm gonna bring my arms front just so I feel like I'm not still up here, which my body totally is. Oh, somebody's phone.
I know. Morning.
All right. Just one. All right, two. It's one stretch on two legs. So I just want to do really quick. Want to bend one knee, one leg straight. What I'm trying to do is roll that knee under, tuck that toe under. Right? So I told the girls at the beginning when we started doing this that my eventual goal is for everybody to be able to do a split. And so while I've never called it this before, I'm calling it now a half split. Because you've got most of the mechanics happening, right? If you've got your knee under and you've got your toe under, this leg is pointing forward, your body is upright, right? The last thing you need to do is just make that leg straight. That's all. It's easy.
Yeah.
But I need you to stretch the top of your
So you
leg
need to
here.
roll over to your right. So your knee is.
It's not letting me.
Yeah.
My body's not letting me do that.
And for, that's okay, just go as far as you can, and I don't want you to hurt your ankle either, so, I would say for the rest of us, if you wanna go up on that leg, if you can.
I like this, 'cause I can feel my inner thigh.
Oh, it's so good for so many things,
Yeah.
right? I'm still trying to keep my chest lifted, even though my back leg is kind of pushing
It
front,
reminds me of the pigeon.
It is.
Oh, I was like, I think I'm feeling a pigeon vibe here.
Yes. In yoga, it's called the pigeon pose, I believe.
Yeah.
That pose helps my pelvis
Yes.
hip
Come
stuff.
on down, we're gonna do the other leg. She's like having a whole moment over
Oh,
here.
yeah. Go ahead, lay on down in this. And your butt's like, oh, thank you.
Right? So I point my toe, roll my leg, right? We can start down on the floor with our glute on the floor. Usually one leg is better than the other. This is not my good leg. Oh, my foot wants to cramp. Don't do it, foot. Right? And then if you can, up on that leg. And sometimes we even go rock a little bit. That helps. My lower back needs this for some reason, because it's like, hey, remember how you've been mad all week? Here's exactly where you've been mad. And you. Oh yeah, you're gonna bend that knee? We're not gonna bend our knee. She's an overachiever. She's
No,
trying to be teacher's pet over there. I don't know what's going on.
Actually, now I'm giving her hands like, oh, we get started in this and this.
Well, you could, and there could be a whole thing, but
Go ahead, wait, go back, because you have to do this other one. Go down.
oh, you want to go front?
Yeah, and just relax onto your thigh. Then you can feel that, oh, in that front leg.
It is nice in the front leg.
It is nice in the front leg. And then I just roll out of it. Crunch your butt. Right?
Yeah. There you go.
You got to stretch your butt. Woohoo!